Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. So we had a monumentous day yesterday, and I've been talking to my people for some years now. I've been in this space since late 2017, and I've been talking to all my friends whenever they ask me about what I'm invested in, what I'm involved in, what I know about the crypto space. My top priority is I let them know like, hey, this is just kind of my opinion on things and how I feel about based on the information that I have. XRP's one of those solid ones that you really want to get into, accumulate, and hodl. And man, yesterday was one of the most profound moments in my time in this space. It's very significant. It was very emotional. As you can see, there was a lot of people on Twitter and people like Moon Lambo and JD and them. A lot of people got emotional. I had my moment as well. It was a final sign of relief. And there was a lot of people in the whole maxi realm, Bitcoin maxi, Ethereum maxi, whatever, that started coming out, trying to spin, different narratives about what happened with litigation. And all I can say is based on all the information I've seen, JD speaking on things, Jeremy Hogan, and the rest of the community. And obviously you have Brad Garlinghouse with Tony Edwards from Thinking Crypto on Twitter Spaces, just confirming like, hey, you just ignore the noise. People are going to say what they're going to say. We got to take our W because it was a massive W, and it just wasn't just for Ripple and XRP. It was for the entire crypto space. There's a lot of strength that can be placed with other companies and exchanges, and just to fight the battle against the SEC. Long story short, man, it was a very emotional, very profound, and very significant day. And shout out to the XRP community. Shout out Ripple, Bragg on the House, Chris Larson, Stuart Alderati, especially JD, and the all the members that were part of the class action lawsuit. Man, we fought the good fight and we got the dub. It was massive. And I wanted to cover a lot of the, well, I guess you could say a good portion of the drama that was happening within the community in regards to Charles Gasparino on this, because I think it's comical. And I'm just gonna say, just off the rip, man, like, ignore it, man. I think he's just massive troll, and he's getting all those impressions. He's getting all this attention. I just say ignore it. I mean, he knows what's up. People know, the writing on the wall is there. XRP got its clarity, and we're just moving forward. And that's just kind of how it is, right? I wanted to start with this right here from Brad House. So this was something he had put up. We said in December 2020 that we were on the right side of the law and will be on the right side of history. Thankful to everyone who helped us get to today's decision. On that, one that is for all crypto innovation in the U.S. More to come. And then Rosie Rios, she says, who is on the train? Incredible work by the entire Ripple team. So we all know about Rosie Rios, right? I mean, it's no secret, what's happening. Look, XRP Crypto says $1 trillion woman Rosie Rios welcoming everyone on board, right? I love this stuff when they do that. But yeah, just a lot of power behind what's happened, right? And even in this, Cowboy Crypto had put this up. This was that spaces that Tony and XRP Darren were hosting it with Brad Garlinghouse. Let's take a quick listen into this.
For XRP, I think are profound, right? So we've had this artificial pressure kind of sitting on top of us. That weight is lifted. It was a very, very, very heavy weight, but based upon a very, in my opinion, bloated bureaucratic organization sitting on top of us. So that's, I think we're going to see more entrepreneurs, more developers starting to participate in the XRP community, the XRP ledger activity. That's fabulous. And as I think I was saying right before I was breaking up, the dynamic, there are dynamics of the XRP ledger which are far more efficient and make it better for certain use cases. And I think that'll be good for the whole community, period. For Ripple, look, I mean, somewhat similarly, obviously our technology stack is really built on top of the XRP ledger. And we'll continue to invest heavily. There's things we haven't been able to do that now we have clarity. Again, if you go back years, I've been the words, I want a level playing field and I want clarity for the XRP community and really for crypto overall. We really have that now. And that's profound. I think I was right starting to say when I was breaking up, I don't know if it's an irony or how exactly to describe it, but the fact that now that there are really only two digital assets that are cleared in the United States, officially cleared. Bitcoin and XRP.
So before we go on with that, really think about that. What was his name? Craig DeWitt. He had came out and said that, what if, for the next year or two, the only digital assets that are going to have, regulatory clarity is Bitcoin and XRP. And what is that going to implicate in regards of this next bull cycle? Really think about it, right? And it's going to tie in. Actually, I'm going to cover it right now. It's going to tie into what DAI had put up. Where's it at? Did I put it up here? Dang it. Oh, right here. Nope. Did I put it up here? I can't stand when I do that. Um, but anyways, yeah, DAI had put something up in regards of saying like, there's no shade on Bitcoin or anything, but he's saying like people are starting to really see like, okay, well, if Bitcoin and XRP have regulatory clarity and none of these other digital assets do, and XRP can do an astronomical amount, I could an astronomical number of things that it can actually do and it's capable of, right? Versus Bitcoin as in utility, right? Why would you invest? Why would you put your money in Bitcoin over XRP? That's kind of what the conversation's been. And is it Greg DeWitt? Forgot his. I'm probably butchering his name, but yeah, he had came out and said that, and that's interesting that Brad Garlinghouse is saying it because it's something that needs to be, I guess you could say, conversated about because it's going to be interesting to see if that plays a role in the next bull cycle. Remember, XRP missed the last one, right? The last one we had was late 2017, early 2018, and we've been suppressed ever since. We never made a new all-time high past the 340 or 380 or whatever it was. So it's going to be quite interesting, man.
Now, I don't view that as a good thing. I just view that as a statement of reality of where we are right now. And I think it does call upon elected officials to, lean in and make sure that dynamic, that because they sued us and we got clarity and they've given clarity to Bitcoin, they won't even now confirm after having said it previously about ETH. So look, I think it puts XRP in a really unique position that and it lets Ripple do things we couldn't do before. And one of the things that was asked internally yesterday, we've obviously focused a lot about our non-US hiring and non-US growth, and how does that change now? And certainly it makes it easier to go out and pursue US customers, but in the current administration, I mean that the SEC and beyond, it's still a pretty hostile environment here in the United States towards crypto at large. And even with this, it's super unfortunate. Hopefully this is a sea change, but we shall see. Implications for
He said, and it's interesting that he said that in the end of this clip. It's like, okay, it's still hostile to, the broader market or the crypto at large, right? So not just talking about still the hostility toward XRP, Ripple, right? Obviously, there's law, there's precedent that's happened in regards of XRP not being classified as not being a security, right? But he's hinting at like there's still going to be a lot of hostility for these other projects. They may have to go through the ringer like Ripple, the company, and the XRP community had to. They might have to go through their own litigation. It may not be as long. Who knows? There may be some winners, there may be some losers. But he's saying there's a lot of hostility still there. So he could be foreshadowing, what still lies ahead. And it's evident based on, how Chairman Gensler from the SEC just came out the same day that we got that great astronomical news from Judge Torres, right? XRP not being a security, right? And then you have Chairman Gensler from the SEC coming out trying to spin it saying, oh, yeah, we had we're glad that the judge, agreed that, I think he was talking about specific sales. I think they were talking about like the sales to the institutional buyers or whatever, being a violation, right? For us, we're like, we don't give a damn. Like, dude, we won. We got what we've been fighting for, right? But the SEC is going to spin it to fit their narrative. We've speculated that before this even happened. We speculated that years ago. So it's just interesting how he says that. There's still a lot more hostility out there. No one's safe besides XRP, right? We're still going to get the hate. There's still going to be the scrutiny, but yeah, no one's safe. And we've been saying that. JD's been saying that from the drop of the lawsuit in December 2020, right? We were standing alone when the rest of the market, the rest of the community, meaning the crypto market, the broader market, were laughing at us, calling us crap coins. We're going to cover some of that in this video. It might be a little longer video because it's just a lot of crazy stuff, man. What happened to all those haters when they were saying crap coin and security this, security that? Oh, you guys are going to lose. And yet it's like, well, where are you at now? Where's those retractions of those statements? Everyone can grow and learn from things they've said in the past, but you even got those people not even speculating or not even speculating, coming out saying, good job XRP or good job Ripple or good for the XRP community. There's silence, radio silence for a lot of those people. I mean, even got maxis on here that I'm going to cover that. It's just like they're going to say what they're going to say. It's just we're going to cover it later, but I can keep going on. It's just kind of shady. But here goes some of the drama right here. 10 minutes in, we're finally getting to the drama. So Charles Gasparino, we know that he's had his trolling moments, and I really see it as comical trolling moments. I really think it's really interesting. We saw him as like one of those mainstream media beacons of light for us early on, the only ones that were actually covering the information. And then he just like completely did a 180 and completely started acting different. Obviously, John Deaton, or I call him JD, obviously they have a certain relationship, and he kept a certain, I guess you could say professionalism with Charles, and they still have their connection, whatever. But I know deep down in his head, deep down in his heart, JD's probably like, dude, what the hell is Charles talking about? Like, what is he doing? Definitely trolling. But Eleanor Terrence put up this tweet saying, pretty disappointing that Brad Garlinghouse chose CNBC for his first network interview over Fox Business. And then Mr. Intuitive says, is it though? And then he put this in. He says, this from Charles Gasparino says, with victories like this, who needs losses? Sad, ha. And then he's showing today we're having a 12% loss, down 10 cents. So we hit as high, I think it was like 95 cents plus or something. I think it was on Coinbase. But obviously we're down. Blockchain Backer was talking about, hey, I mean, technically, like, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And I think he was saying something along the lines, it may be even more beneficial if we go down and retrace those mid to high 50 cents areas. Like I think it was at like 57 cents or something like that. Like we definitely expect, a spike up on the news, right? And of course people are going to take profits. That's a smart thing to do. For me, these prices were really interesting. And I think a lot of us in the XRP community, we're pretty much still like we're glad we got these prices, but we're still like, that's just not what we're here for type thing. We're here for, the bigger gains and the longer game type thing. But, obviously he's going with his victories like this. Who needs losses? Sad, huh? Right? Doing his trolling thing. And then and then we continue on here. Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto says, you are just embarrassing yourself at this point. Having a toddler meltdown all because the Ripple folks didn't do an interview with you. You can tweet price all you want, but we all know you don't know jack about charts or technical analysis. Sad, huh? And then they put the Fox Corp Class B stock. I think it's their stock chart here. Down it says down 1.55% today, and then he shows just like this down part of the chart. Interesting. And then we continue on here. Mr. Huber here says, pretty obvious if you ask me, Eleanor Terror. And then he says, Charles Gasparino is a laughing stock. Utterly embarrassing. If Brad Garlinghouse would have given an interview. So I'm going to cover, I think I put the video up in here. Let me make sure I did that. I just been slacking in my placement. Yeah, right here. So, Mr. Intuitive had put up an example here. He goes, Dear Fox Business, Charles Gasparino and Eleanor Terry, instead of whining that Brad Garlinghouse went on CNBC, why don't you all think and reflect how Gasparino handles himself in interviews? Now, there is no room for error and no time for Gasparino to mislead listeners. Exhibit B. So we're going to listen into this real quick.
And so, look, I think increasingly as the summary judgment filings were made public, people realized that maybe the SEC really is overreaching. They really aren't following a kind of faithful allegiance to the law. And that's a quote from the judge in this case. And so I think people are realizing that,
the judge said that it might be. They might not be, right?
No, but the judge said is, one, the SEC is being hypocritical.
Yes.
And two, they said that they were not following a faithful allegiance to the law in pursuit of an outcome. And I think that's what we have here. We have
So just from my experience watching Charles Gasparino even interview with John Deaton, like he constantly cuts people off. Like instead of allowing Brad Garlinghouse to go in to explain what he's going to say, his position on whatever their topic was. Obviously, it was based on the SEC's overregulation by enforcement, right? Instead of letting him just really dive into what he's saying, he continually cuts him off. And in a sense, Brad Garlinghouse has to retract or retrace and then reiterate certain things that he shouldn't have to. We all have the facts. But that's how Charles Gasparino has conducted himself. Even when he goes on, John Deaton will have him on it's not a Spaces, but it'll be like a what's that? Forgot that third party Zoom or something, whatever it's called. Yeah, he'll have him on there, right? For it'll be him, Eleanor Terry, and Charles Gasparino, and you got Charles, Gasparino typing as they're talking and having a conversation, man. Just things like that. Why would Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson and Ripple, why would they want to go have those interviews, their first official interview after this monumentous moment within the space and for their victory within litigation with the SEC? Why would they go to Charles Gasparino so it can continually get cut off, so you can continually belittle and try to spin the narrative to where you devalue what's been gained? Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. That's just one example of the examples that Mr. Tudor have put out. And then Charles Gasparino has this one. It says, retiring on XRP will have to wait. Sad, ha. And then it shows the same thing again. So this is interesting. For me, it's funny as hell. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it makes me laugh because it's like, I'm looking at this gentleman. It's like, bro, okay, you're trolling, bro. You probably have a bag yourself. But it's like, why? Like, what's the gain, right? I don't know if this is making him, I mean, outside of the impressions he may be getting from it or something, like in the views, like, how is this benefiting you? You're making yourself look silly. And for me, I'm just like, well, he's doing a good job of trolling. I mean, quite honestly. Anyways, I think the people within the community get frustrated about this, especially after the fight that we've had to endure. And we're still going to continue to fight, but it's just shameful that someone that we saw is, like I said, a beacon of light when it comes to the mainstream media turns out to be, we'll just say, a black cloud. I mean, really, it's crazy. DAI is talking about, because remember, Charles Gasparino says retiring on XRP will have to wait. Sad, huh? And remember, and I know I'm talking a lot, but this is important. Remember, I just talked about in the very beginning of this video how emotional this victory was for the XRP community. Forget Ripple, forget everybody else. We're talking about the XRP community, people that have been hodling since before 2017, after 2017, went through this entire litigation, right? All the ebbs and flows of this craziness. All the emotion that was poured out. JD, myself, the rest of the crypto community, big YouTubers like Moon Lambo, and you even have DAI was super emotional about it. And, we're all out here trying to change the financial futures and the financial status of our for our family and for our lives, right? For the betterment of our family. We have children. We have married people within the community. There's a lot that we are fighting for, and to see stuff like this is very belittling. And I can understand why people get super upset and even hurt by this. I mean, for me, like I said, I think he's just a troll. I think he's trolling. And I think I'm mature enough to move past it. Not to say that anyone else isn't, but I understand the frustration from the rest of the community when it comes to this stuff. It's just kind of shameful, man. There was a lot of truly blood, sweat, and tears that went into this thing. And a lot of people were, emotionally devastated when the lawsuit dropped. Been drugged through the dirt this entire time, and then to have that sigh of relief and just that emotion outcry that's happened yesterday, and then to have this, it's just a slap in the face, man. When you were supposed to be, you were supposed to be a part of that true fight and a part of the community. It's crazy, man. DAI, he kind of slaps it back right here. He goes, Bitcoin's 49% on the year, Ethereum 63% on the year, XRP 133% on the year. And remember, we talked about XRP being in the top 10, the top 7, the top 5. I mean, throughout this entire time, right? And then it's still the highest on the year. Obviously, we had a big wick from this victory, but you have to remember, Bitcoin when I got in was, what was it, 16,000 or something? I forgot what it was. And obviously, we went through, the market cycle of 2021, the bull cycle. I think it was 2021, and hit like forgot what the high number was, but was it in the high 60s, low 70s? Forgot what it was. But the point is like XRP hasn't even, been a part of that. It hasn't even beat its all-time high since 2018. I hate when this thing pops up. And then it's still up 133% on the year. What do you think is going to happen when we really get into this bull cycle? And XRP and Bitcoin are the only ones that have true regulatory clarity. XRP is the only one that has true utility, real world use case. What do you think is going to happen when people start building on the XRP ledger? I mean, truly building. You know how you have all those builders on the Ethereum network, right? Or in the Ethereum blockchain? What happens when you have so many people building on the XRP ledger? Fast transaction, lower fees, right? More utility, more use case. I mean, it can be astronomical. This is merely interesting. But this is a good point here. You have people like this talking like this. You can't sad, huh? It says retiring on XRP will have to wait. Sad, huh? But it's like, bro, look what's happening. And why isn't Squawk Box and all those people, covering it? They just throw shade at it. It's crazy. Anyways, we're gonna continue on. Mr. Intuitive says, Dear Fox Business, you lost a customer. This is despicable. Your own anchor is making fun of your own viewers. It's been fun, Mr. I. What's this one? Did I cover that one already? Yeah. Right here. Okay, so Charles Gasparino says, breaking. After the great Ripple XRP victory, the coin is now below 70 cents and falling. One reason, questions over how much of victory went down yesterday with the judge basically saying 700 million in XRP sales are illegal and need to be paid back with possibly XRP. So this is interesting because this is that whole spin cycle stuff that we've been talking about. You know, they're going to come out and you know, try to spin things to show, you know, oh, you know, Ripple is wrong, and you know, they violate this, they violate that. It's just noise. We're just going to leave it at that. And that's what I said at the beginning of the video. It's just a lot of noise out there. Interesting because JD was supposed to go on, I think it was what he said, Charles Payne today. And we're not going to cover it in this video, but he's still, Charles Gasparino owes JD a steak dinner. But it's funny because Eleanor told him, she says, when I arrived, Ellie said, John, you should probably take that pig before you get on Twitter. So she obviously told him and warned him because of what's been happening with Charles trolling and the community kind of going back at him. So he was like, you might want to take this picture real quick because, you know, your mood can change, you know. But JD's going to be a professional, and obviously he has this certain relationship with Charles Gasparino, so it is what it is. This is interesting too. So Charles Gasparino says, sorry, it's so strange that Bart Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderati aren't doing a victory lap after the Ripple XRP ruling. Makes no sense. They are not doing a victory lap unless, I think he's hinting at unless they didn't, there wasn't really a victory, right? And then Weezy X had put this up. This was another clip from Tony Edwards and XRP Darren's little Twitter spaces. Let's listen in.
Yeah, we're feeling very good about the opportunity ahead, and you know, if you think about the SEC's statement about they're pleased with the win, you're like, well, the SEC brought 3 lawsuits: one against Chris Larson, they lost; one against Brad Garlinghouse, they lost; one against Ripple, they mostly lost. And again, I'm guessing many of the people listening will remember I said a long time ago, we would have settled this thing so long ago if they simply would have agreed on a go forward basis. XRP is not a security. Guess what? We got that now. And again, we had to fight a long, hard battle, a lot of money, a lot of time, and frankly, a lot of stress. But I really just could not be more pleased with, you know, how this played out.
Okay, so there's a couple things there. Obviously, that just shuts down this whole nonsense, right? Clearly, there was a major victory. But Brad Garlinghouse had kind of threw another nugget in there. He was saying we would have settled this thing a long time ago if they said on a going forward basis, XRP is not security, right? But he says we got it. So what does that mean? Is there no sort of settlement, you know, going to play out in this thing? Like, how does this thing play out in regards of the finality to everything? Quite interesting. I don't. We'll leave that to the professionals, but it's just I kind of caught that as I'm listening to it. This like my third time here. Interesting. But yeah, Charles Gasparino he's definitely trolling. So right here, Mr. Intuitive says, think it's time for the XRP army to mute him and move on. Let him find a new way to get his impressions and views. It's over. Boom. There you go. I have no hate, no ill will against Charles Gasparino. I definitely think he's trolling. I definitely think he's doing a good job of doing it. It's exciting, a whole lot of emotion and frustration from the community. I think it's a little, it's a slap in the face to the community. I definitely can feel that, and it's just sad. And you know what? For him, hey, you live your life, brother. Right here. Paul Graywall says, don't be misled that Judge Torres ruled that sometimes XRP is a security and sometimes it isn't. That's exactly the opposite of what she ruled. XRP itself is never a security. So remember, Paul Graywall, when he had an interview with JD, John Deaton, he said, you know, once litigation comes out, we will, you know, review it. He pretty much saying we will review what the verdict is, you know, closely review it, and then we would relist if XRP was determined not to be a security. They literally, I think they were like the third exchange outside of iTrust Capital and Kraken. I can't remember the other one. But yeah, I think they were like the third exchange to relist it yesterday. I mean, shout out Paul Graywall and Coinbase. Obviously, we got some other things that we got to deal with y'all, but shout out to y'all for sticking to your word. And Stu Adarati goes, and this is Ripple's general counsel, says, no question, absolutely no question. XRP itself is never a security. Facts. Moon Lambo is talking about the Maxi here. We got Max Kaiser, right? So it says, I'm surprised anyone thinks this is a win for XRP. The Tapide price action reaction looks underwhelming. So then he puts this up here, right? Moon Lambo goes, there we go. The universe has now made the first annual XRP day complete. And then coming over here, DAI says, the Bitcoin maxis have no choice but to try and spin the Ripple victory. They know the question everyone is now asking themselves, why would I own Bitcoin when I can own XRP? And that's what I was trying to cover in the beginning of the video. Yeah, truly, think about it. We're talking about, Bitcoin's so-called utility, right? Okay. But then you have XRP, right? XRP Ledger, you have Ripple, the company. But yeah, XRP versus Bitcoin, and they're the only two with regulatory clarity. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to try to do what they have to do to spin that narrative, right? Man, you got to open your eyes, man. You got to really see. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Straight up. And here goes Pump right here. This is interesting. So this is back in December 22nd, 2020, right? Good morning. Remember, this is at the time frame of Jay Clayton walking out the door, dropping the lawsuit on Ripple, the company, and XRP community. So Pump says, good morning to everyone except the people who thought they could sell unregistered securities and get away with it. And this person goes, I like you, Pump, but I'm going to dislike you for just a few minutes for that one. That's okay. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm here to educate people while learning more myself. The ability to listen to each other's opposing opinions and still be friends is needed more than ever today. And then Crypto Law and JD says, hope you learned something from this. Straight up. Let's hear it. You know what I'm saying? Go on your podcast and all your soapboxes and we got the dub. You were wrong. Completely wrong. I was going to cover this update, but I'm going to encourage you to go on to Meta Lawman's tweet thread. He's talking about the SEC versus Coinbase first hearing, and he's pretty much saying it's looking mainly positive for Coinbase. And then he has a couple of different things that he's saying is in there for, looking like it's more favorable for Coinbase as of right now, meaning mainly positive for Coinbase. Man, it's been a long one. Let me refresh this over here before we go. We've already been here forever. XRP sitting at 71 cents. Bitcoin sitting at 30,261. Ethereum sitting at 1929. And the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index at a 60. Man, that's what I have for you, man. There was a lot there, but it's just quite interesting. Ignore the noise. Us in the XRP community fought the good fight. We got the W, got the victory. We got what we wanted. And hey, stick to your price targets, stick to your trading strategies, stick to the people that you admire and that you trust and have faith in the community. Get involved as much as you possibly can. Continue to educate yourself so you can make educated decisions in the space, okay? We ain't safe in this space. XRP's not a security, though. Make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto's Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.